"You're embarrassing yourself. Walk away." The voice was calm, low, but it carried through the dining room like a warning shot. Every fork paused mid-air, heads turned. A woman in a red dress sat frozen, her eyes glossy with tears, staring up at the man who had just grabbed her arm. His grip tightened. Then came movement. The man behind her rose, not a waiter, not a manager, a man in full navy dress uniform, ribbons, trident, white gloves, stepping forward from the shadows like he'd been waiting for this exact moment. The kind of man you don't notice until the room needs him. He didn't yell. He didn't threaten. He simply placed both gloved hands on the woman's shoulders, looked the aggressor dead in the eye, and said, "You heard me. Walk. Away." The man blinked. He scoffed. He didn't realize who he was looking at. "You her boyfriend or something?" he barked, drunk and humiliated. "No," the SEAL said, voice flat. "I'm a father, and I don't let women cry at dinner." A few guests chuckled nervously. The tension thickened. The woman finally exhaled, as if her body had been holding its breath since he sat down. The drunk guy tried to puff up, but the moment was already gone. The Navy SEAL's eyes didn't waver. He didn't need to raise his voice. He was the threat. The man backed off. He muttered something and disappeared toward the bar. The room resumed its quiet clatter, but nothing was the same. After the crowd returned to their meals, the woman turned around. Her mascara had smudged. Her hands trembled slightly. "Thank you," she said, barely above a whisper. "You're safe now," he replied. "You shouldn't have had to thank me for that." He didn't ask her name, didn't stay for small talk, just gave her a respectful nod and returned to his table, where a children's menu and an empty booster seat sat quietly waiting. A small pair of shoes peeked out from under the white linen. His daughter was asleep, cheek pressed to a coloring page she never finished. He paid the bill in silence and carried his daughter out like she was made of glass. 3 days later, there was a knock at his door. He lived in a quiet corner of town, modest house, American flag on the porch, dog bowl on the step. He answered in sweats, expecting a neighbor. But standing at the edge of his welcome mat was a man in a black suit and white gloves. "Are you the gentleman from the restaurant the other night?" the man asked. "I am. My employer would like to speak with you." He didn't have to ask who. A black luxury car sat idling by the curb, driver waiting. The SEAL glanced inside, and there she was, the woman in red, dressed in a simple coat now, hair tied back, no makeup, but unmistakably her. He stepped into the car. Her name was Claire. The man had been her ex, obsessive, rich and angry. No one at that restaurant had lifted a finger, except him. "Why didn't you just ignore it?" she asked. "Most people do." "Because my daughter was watching," he said, "and I'll be damned if she grows up thinking silence is safer than standing up." That line hit her, hard. She reached into her bag and handed him a folded envelope. "I wanted to offer something, a reward. You deserve it." He shook his head. "Mom, I didn't do it for a check." "It's not a check," she said. He opened the envelope. Inside was a letter. Not from her, from a foundation, a grant, a full scholarship, addressed to his daughter. "Single dads like you don't get much support," Claire said. "I have friends who can change that." He was quiet, emotional, caught off guard for the first time in years. "She's smart," he said softly. "She deserves the world." "Then let's give it to her." Word spread, quietly, then louder, about the Navy SEAL who stood up when no one else did. The man who left the spotlight but couldn't avoid it when the light followed his actions. A local paper did a story, then a veterans magazine, then a national interview. He didn't want fame. He didn't chase it. But when people started asking what drove him, he told them the truth. "I'm just a dad who promised his little girl that she'd never have to wonder what the right thing looks like." True courage doesn't always come in battle. Sometimes it shows up in a restaurant, in a whisper, in a quiet decision to stand between harm and a stranger. Real heroes don't wait for medals. They act when no one else will. And sometimes the ripple from a single act of decency can rewrite a future. If this story moved you, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories like this one. You never know. The next one might just change your life.